Thomas finna be very disappointed. I could just tell you now. I can tell you now he about to be very disappointed. But hey y'all, welcome back to another review of Life with Chelsea. This for the Bold and Beautiful February 16, 2023. Okay, so on today's episode, basically they was just preparing to take Douglas over there to Steffi's and everything. So Hope was still upset about Douglas today because again they gotta take him over there and so I was like, okay, that was kind of fast. I don't know, y'all. But they still was talking about how Thomas, everybody basically was talking about how Thomas is as a father and everything. But I said Hope losing Douglas as well. So yeah, it's like what she said. Was it on yesterday's episode or the day before yesterday? Where she was like, what does that say about her and them as parents? If he don't want to live with neither one of them. But yeah, Thomas goes to Eric and he asks for another chance with the family and everything. So Eric basically reminded him of the lives that were affected by his actions. And he was saying like his life basically wasn't affected as much as Brooke, Ridge, Taylor's, and even Steffi's and Douglas or whatever. And he was telling him, I was like, about time they finally hold him accountable versus making excuses for him. But how long would that last? But Thomas says that Douglas is the most important person in his life. Finn still listen. This whole episode, and not just this whole episode, but yesterday's episode and today's episode, basically, in my opinion, Finn was telling Steffi no the whole time without actually saying no, and she just wasn't hearing him. And I feel like that kind of proves that she had already made her mind up. I'm like, okay, the whole freaking episode. Excuse me. The whole freaking episode. I bet y'all say I cough every time I do a review. I really do. I don't know. But the whole episode he was basically saying no. And I'm like, okay, she not picking up on what he's saying. I said, you're gonna have to say it more clear for her. But it's too late now because Douglas there. But I feel like the whole episode and yesterday's episode, he was steady telling her no. But Finn's still not on board. He asks why Douglas don't want to stay at his own home. he asks he asks why Douglas don't want to stay at his own home. I mean, that is y'all nephew, so it ain't like it's just completely random. But yeah, he asked why Douglas can't stay at his own home. But I wonder if it was actually revealed that Finn obviously don't want Douglas there. Would his parents come up with a better arrangement, a better solution? Because I just don't know. I get that you don't want anything to, tarnish y'all family and what y'all got going on, especially with Sheila on the loose. But I wouldn't want my child to go anywhere he or she ain't welcome in this situation, regardless of him. Cause Steffi started telling him, "Oh, I know you concerned. That's what makes you a great father, and Douglas is gonna be lucky to have you." I said, "You ain't listening." I said, "The man don't want him there. He telling you without telling you he don't want him there." But I said, Finn, you got bigger matters at hand because Sheila still ain't done. Sheila distracted with her two men, Bill and Deacon, but give it some time. She gonna be back trying to pursue a relationship with y'all. But yeah, I was like, you, Douglas, I get it. You don't want nothing to affect what y'all got going on, and I feel like he also knows that it's gonna be some mess because you already know Thomas gonna get ready. Thomas gonna have it in his head that this is his opportunity. He gonna be study trying to come around. There's gonna be some mess between him, Steffi, and Hope and Liam them. And like I get it because it's definitely coming. You can tell on today's episode when Thomas was talking that it's definitely coming. But yeah, I said I wonder if it was revealed that he don't want Douglas there. How would they feel and would they try to come up with a better plan? But it's too late because Douglas is already there now. But yeah, maybe he'll change his mind when Douglas comes and everything, and he has been living there for a while. And he right to have his opinion. He right to have his doubts. But I just don't know. Stephanie not listening. She not listening. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but think about it. As a parent, I'm not a parent yet. But as a parent, for the parents listening, if you knew that somebody was basically saying everything that Finn said, talking about why he can't stay at his own, why he can't stay at his own home and all that, would you want your child over there? Then Hope brought up, and I'm skipping ahead. I always do that. She brought up how she should have pushed harder with the judge. I said the judge should have told Douglas and everybody like, okay, that's not even in the paperwork. First of all, it's not even in the paperwork. So how that work? But yeah, they do say next week they supposed to come. Wait, was that next week or this week? They didn't come up with no arrangement. Well, they did. They did say he could live there a while. I just thought about that. I've been speaking on next week, but they did say that he can stay there for a while, and they think that he gonna get tired eventually. I just thought about something. Another thing didn't happen this week. Cause today what, Thursday? Tomorrow Friday, so we got one more episode. They said that the Foresters and the Logan supposed to be back arguing and beefing and stuff. I ain't seen that yet, but we'll see on tomorrow's episode. Excuse me, cause they said Taylor and Brooke gonna join together to do what's best for Douglas, but they also said that they gonna be back at odds with each other. That ain't happen. I didn't see that happen, but maybe they was talking about next week. Who knows? But where I stop it about Finn now. Yeah, I said he right to have his doubts, but I don't know about all this. I just maybe he's right because it could start up a bunch of mess, especially with the fact that Thomas seems to have it in his head that this is his opportunity. That's why he wasn't upset like Hope. I said Hope more disappointed and upset than anybody. But it's revealed why Thomas think he got things on lock. I said he finna be shocked. Because Steffi already said at the end of the episode how she felt. But Thomas seems to believe that because Steffi is his sister, he'll have full access to his son. I'm not sure about that. Now, if you hadn't pulled that stunt, yes, you would have had full access. But now that Steffi's still mad at him and everything, we'll see. We'll see. Because, yeah, he seems to be confident that because that's his sister, that she gonna be like, okay. And that's what they said. They said that they supposed to be arguing and stuff. He's supposed to tell her that's my son and all that. Well, you should have did right by your son, sir. Excuse me. You should have did right by your son for sure. But yeah, he got it in his head that this is his opportunity, this is his moment. And I said, I feel sorry for him. Well, I don't feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for Hope because she did things right. He did not. I feel sorry for her out of everybody. But Leon was studied like comforting Hope and trying to remind her that it's not because of her parenting and everything, and it'll be okay because Douglas will be back. Stephanie's gonna take care of him. That's his aunt and all this. But yeah, Tom is confident that Steffi gonna let him have full access to Douglas and everything. But I don't think so because if he hadn't, I feel like they wouldn't have been in that situation if he hadn't acted the way he acted. But at the same time, he keep doing stuff, so who knows? But I said there was a time when Steffi stood by him 100%. But right now, I was like, I don't know about that. And that might be what Finn was talking about. That might be what comes between them. The whole the thing. Excuse me. Hope wonders if they should have fought the judge harder. And I said, yeah, because Finn's still not on board. And Douglas is a child. Hope taking this harder than anyone. Thomas saying basically he'll build the bond back with Douglas if he could just spend some alone time with Douglas. And Eric brought up a good point. He was like, it wasn't like Hope was keeping you away from your son. And he was like, but they could change. And I was like, he technically right because she did tell him before all this that they needed to have a serious discussion about their son, but she's not ready to have that discussion yet. So he might be right. She might have was gonna cut his access, and then the whole thing where she was like, we could have full custody of him and stuff. And I said, yeah, he right. He is right because they was going there with it, but I don't know. I'm conflicted with this because he is the father, but at the same time, he hasn't been acting like a real father. He has actually been using his son, and I think they do consider that a form of abuse. Like I don't know what type of abuse, emotional abuse. I think that's what they call it. So yeah, but yeah, Hope taking this harder than anyone. Thomas saying basically he'll build the bond back with Douglas if he can just spend a long time with Douglas, and he has it in his head that this is his opportunity. That's the only thing that's keeping him calm and okay about this whole arrangement because he's like, okay, Steffi ain't gonna keep me from him. I said, you fool. Hope gave you more of a chance than Steffi probably is. But excuse me. Finn says that he has no issue with Douglas living there, but he worried about Kelly and Hayes. And Steffi's still not listening to the man. She's still not listening. I said, lady. I said, Steffi. Your husband telling you no again, but you're not listening. But you can tell that this is something that Steffi really wants. She really wants this or whatever. But yeah, he's like he worried about them, how they gonna take it. I get what he's saying because sometimes in situations like this, well, not even like this, when you have more than one child, they may feel like you giving the other more attention than the other, or oh, he ain't even your son, but you over here take care of him like this, and they may be jealous and all this, but they kind of small. I say so. Douglas older, the oldest, they kind of small, so I don't know. But nowadays, the younger kids be picking up on stuff too. So I kind of get what he's saying, but I just feel like this is a him decision, not a whole. Oh, I was thinking about Kelly and Hayes and everything, and I was like, nah, I think you thinking about yourself, and it's okay. You got a right to not want anything or anyone to come in between what you got going on with Steffi. But if anything could come and disrupt what y'all got going on, then y'all foundation ain't strong. Especially if a child could come and disrupt what got going on. Excuse me. But yeah, that's what he said. He ended up saying he has no issue with it. He just worried about Kelly and Hayes, and I was like, ain't Hayes still a baby? Ain't he about one now, or still a baby in some months? But I don't know. But yeah, I said, Steffi, you ain't listening, and she said, that's why I love you. She said, that's why I love you. Cause you a great father, and Douglas gonna be lucky to have you. I said, okay. Okay. And then even when they hugged, he still had this facial expression or whatever. And I said, sad, sad. But Douglas comes out and everything, and he tells them that he has something to tell them. And he tells Hope and Liam that he don't want them to be sad. Excuse me. And he basically just want to change the scenery of change of an environment or something. And he gets to live on the beach and have fun. And I say, And I said, and in that moment when he said that about having fun and living on the beach, that was a parenting moment to me. But again, I ain't no parent, so I don't know. Cause he gonna get over there and see the rules still apply. I see it on shows all the time too. He gonna get over there, cause the fact that he mentioned having fun, I don't think even Hope was telling Steffi about that. Maybe that's what she meant in the office when she was like, it's more than just living on the beach and stuff. But yeah, I said in that moment was a parenting moment that they could have corrected him and tell him the rules still apply. When you get over there, it's gonna be rules. You gotta do this and do that. Because visiting someone and living with someone is two different things. I feel like when you visit somebody, you only see the show that they put on, or I ain't gonna say show, but you only see what they said, the representative of somebody. You don't see who they actually are, or you don't see how things actually are. He's saying what he said. Finn could teach him how to surf, I think, and all this stuff. I said Finn don't even want you. Finn don't want you over there. But yeah, maybe I'm reading too deep into it. But yeah, excuse me. I said, that was a teachable moment. They should have said, oh, if that's what it's about, listen, y'all could go, we could get a house. Maybe if they had got out of that cabin. I seen somebody saying it about, he tired of living over there in that cabin with them. And I was like, maybe they should have got another type of house or whatever. Then don't they, since Wyatt don't seem to be using his house, is that where Taylor at? I was wondering that when I seen her that day when she went over there. I was like, is that the house that Wyatt used to live in? But I don't know. I was like, listen, y'all could go get y'all a house near the beach if that's what he want. Cause he talking about having fun on the beach and seeing Kelly and Hayes. I was like, the fact that y'all family, y'all should be able to see each other, and that'll solve all that. But nope, I guess they don't think like that. Excuse me, but y'all said visiting someone and living with someone is two totally different things. So I feel like Douglas gonna see that when he go over there. Cause it's not gonna be. Then you gotta consider the fact that they don't show. I was just telling somebody this. I was like, they don't even show the kids on the show. They'll show them every now and then. Excuse me, Lord Jesus. But I said we see Douglas more than the other kids, but they only bring Douglas out when they trying to freaking make Thomas the bad guy, or they trying to get Douglas to expose a grown up situation or something like that. That's the only time. Other than that, we don't see these kids. But Eric tells Thomas that Steffi is gonna act in Douglas' best interest because he kept going on and on about this is his opportunity. Oh, I can rebuild the bond with my son, and Steffi's my sister. She's not gonna not allow me to see my son and all this stuff. And he just fantasizing about this idea that because Douglas finna go over there, oh, I can stop by and see. That's the first part. You can't pop up at nobody's house unexpectedly especially not all the time. It's bad enough to do it once. Excuse me. But Yeah, I said that's the first thing. And you just assume you act like y'all on good terms or something. Like this is your son. You came up with the doggone idea. It's your fault that Hope done lost her son, and you done lost your son, and y'all in this situation. It's your fault. It's your fault. But what else? Yeah, Eric is telling Thomas that Steffi is gonna act in Douglas' best interest because again he got this idea that listen, Eric be harsh. Eric can be harsh when he wants to. I remember the day at the little wedding or the nun wedding when it was revealed that he had called Child Protective Services on Brooke. Well, not on Brooke, on himself, and pretended like it was Brooke. And he was like, "You called him on Brooke?" And he's like, "What?" And he ran up on Thomas. I said, "Calm down now." And somebody pointed out that is the father of her kids and stuff like that. I said, yeah, I get that, but it ain't your current woman. I said, you need to calm down a little bit. Yeah, he ran up on. That was so funny because I wasn't expecting him to run up on Thomas like that, like he about to hit him. But yeah, he's talking. He said she's gonna act in Douglas's best interest, not yours, and everything. I said, that's right. You tell him. And also, he told him that he's to blame for all of this. Excuse me. I say you right. He is to blame because he doing, like I said, child protective services. He the one who came up with the brilliant idea to let a child choose where they gonna live. And I said if every child chose where they gonna live, they probably live at Disneyland and everything else. Who knows? That's why you don't get them the option. And I thought, they had said that he did it because, he didn't want them arguing and stuff, which is I feel like one reason. Then it's um, because he want to go over there and have fun. And I said everybody could have came up with a better idea than this, but they didn't. And yeah, what else they said? Thomas seems to think. I said what they said. What I wrote. Thomas seems to think that he'll be at Steffi's a lot. They end up bringing Douglas to Steffi's, and excuse me. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, yeah, they bring Douglas to Steffi's, and Hope having a hard time. You could tell. So they end up getting ready to show Douglas his room and everything. And Douglas comes back and he hugs Hope and tells her he loves her and everything. And he also told Liam to make sure his mommy not sad. And I said, well, if you don't want to sad, you might want to stay at the house. But yeah, I said I'm glad he did that. But they end up leaving and everything. And Hope you can just tell by her facial expression she's upset and everything. So Steffi's trying to comfort her, and she tells her that Douglas gonna come back. He just need a break right now. I said Steffi gonna get attached. It's more than a aunt. I said I feel like she gonna get attached. It's more than a aunt. But yeah, she just trying to reassure her that he just needs a break. He's gonna come back, and she also let not Thomas Douglas know that you know that the cabin or whatever they call that place they be at that they live at that is still there, that's still his home. He said I know. He just listen, he ready to go play on the beach. He gonna be trying to play on the beach all the time. So do this mean they gonna actually show storylines with him or what? Because if not, all this was unnecessary and they could have finished the whole Sheila storyline. But excuse me. Hope asked Steffi to take care of her son and watch out for Thomas, so it's gonna be some mess. Yes, Hope had wrote down all his foods and all the stuff. She was like, watch him around the cliff and all that. She was being a mother, basically. I don't see it as she was acting like Steffi ain't got no kids of her own, but it's just her being a mother. So I get that. And I was like, she made me feel sorry for her. Listen, she don't want to feel sorry for her in this situation because she took care of him and been taking care of him and she didn't do nothing wrong except go back and forth with Thomas and agree to this crazy situation. My bad about to go dead. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all thought of this episode down below. Until next time, deuces.